In 1896, a Swedish scientist named Svante Arrhenius published a paper with his theory on climate change. His theory was that by releasing more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, we would gradually raise the planet's average temperature. This is what we call global warming. It's been more than 100 years since Svante's research paper was published, and climate change is now considered as the biggest threat facing humanity. As solutions are still being proposed to fight global warming, the ultimate goal is for humanity to reduce carbon footprint, which is defined as the total amount of greenhouse gases generated by human action. And according to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, greenhouse gas emissions from transportation alone account for about 29% of total U.S. greenhouse gas emissions, making it the single largest contributor of U.S. greenhouse gas emissions, and this is where electric vehicles come in. Car manufacturers such as Tesla, Lucid, Rivian have come up with vehicles that are powered by electric motors, drawing power from a battery, giving you the same performance, reliability, and range of a traditional ICE vehicle without the tailpipe emissions. So if we replace all ICE vehicles with EV vehicles, can we reach zero emissions? To answer that, we have to dive into the EV manufacturing process, starting with the sourcing of the raw minerals critical to the manufacture of EVs. For one, EVs use lithium-ion batteries. These batteries are made using many precious minerals, namely lithium, cobalt, manganese, amongst others. And most of these minerals are sourced from developing countries. For example, the Democratic Republic of Congo alone supplies half of the planet's cobalt, while Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina together hold around 60% of the world's lithium supply. But why does this matter? In January 2023, Siddharth Kara, an award-winning author and visiting scientist at the Harvard School of Public Health, published a book titled Cobalt Red: How the Blood of the Congo Powers Our Lives. And in this book, the author gives us a first-hand account of his journey to southeastern DRC in an attempt to investigate the Congo cobalt mining industry. In one part of the book, the author tells us about artisanal miners, mine workers that dig up the minerals that are critical to the manufacture of EVs using their bare hands, comparing them to slaves as they work in hazardous conditions with little regard for their safety and little to no compensation. And in another part of the book, the author interviews a child who is critically injured from working in a cobalt mine, showing us why some people call the byproducts blood batteries. In 2021, the same year that EV sales reached a new record high, the United Nations Children's Fund declared that child labor had risen to 160 million, the first increase in 2 decades. And this is just the beginning. As EVs continue to replace internal combustion engine vehicles, the demand for these minerals is set to increase, with lithium demand estimated to be as much as 3 times in the near future. In Chile, one of the world's driest regions, where in some areas average annual rainfall does not even exceed 15 millimeters, lithium mining is exacerbating the existing problem of water shortage, leaving some of Chile's communities dry, and this is because lithium extraction requires a large quantity of water, not to mention the fact that mining in itself causes environmental pollution. Most mines discharge waste, often including hazardous chemicals such as arsenic, lead, and mercury, into accessible rivers and streams, poisoning water that communities use for fishing and drinking, while also killing aquatic life in the process, virtually rendering the water unusable. But you see, the biggest problem with EVs as a solution to climate change right now is the mere fact that they are powered by electricity. Because according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, about 60% of the U.S.'s electricity is still generated from burning fossil fuels. In 2021, the International Energy Agency reported a 5% rise in electricity demand, stating that nearly half the increase was met by fossil fuels. The truth is, although EVs don't have tailpipe emissions, EV manufacturing adds an enormous amount of carbon into the atmosphere. And then there's the issue of mines in third world countries displacing villages, polluting air, dumping waste in rivers, and paying employees peanuts. Not to mention the fact that EV raw material mining is exacerbating the child labor and slave labor crisis. As much as I disagree with calling EVs a solution to anything, what I do agree with is that when we talk about climate change, EVs are definitely a step in the right direction. Do you agree? Like the video, subscribe, and let me know in the comments section below.
How to stop global warming. Immediately head towards Elon Musk's residence. You're going to want to sneak past him so you don't wake him up. Head down the hallway, hop in the spaceship, and make your way towards the sun. Once you find the sun, hop out of the spaceship and threaten the sun by saying, "Hey, why don't you cool it down there, bucko?" That will drop the sun's temperature quite a bit. Oh yeah, make sure you put Elon's rocket back so he doesn't know you used it. There's plenty of ways to stop global warming. This one's just my favorite.